What's up everyone? Firstly I just want to thank you for clicking on this video. My name is Jeebus, and by the end of this we will have 100%ed the new Sonic game, Sonic Frontiers. I should preface this by saying that I've only ever finished Sonic Generations, and I was terrible at it. Absolutely terrible. The whole gotta go fast concept just doesn't compute in my brain, so this should be both interesting and incredibly painful. There are 40 total achievements of Sonic Frontiers that we need to get, 6 story related achievements that we'll get by just playing through the game, 5 side story related achievements, 4 challenge achievements, and 25 miscellaneous achievements ranging from challenges to bosses to fishing with Big Chungus the cat. When the game begins, our first achievement sees us face off against a boss called Ninja. You may have heard of him.
I'm not seeing enough movement.
Who I definitely beat first time, as you can see on the screen. Defeating Mr. Fortnite gets us our first achievement, Unknown Threat.
Wow.
After making it through the tutorial and unlocking some skills, we earn our second achievement, officially kicking off our journey. The next 2 achievements are fairly straightforward. We can unlock these by speaking to both the Hermit Coco and Elder Coco, 2 NPCs that are responsible for leveling up our stats throughout the game. Progressing through the game, I encountered the first boss that gave me a tad bit of trouble. Yes, I said the first. No, I don't want to talk about it. This is a boss called Squid, and he really tested my ability to be actually good at the game. A steep learning curve for my smooth brain. After a few tries, however, I managed to get the one up on him and stomp him into the ground, ending his squishy reign of terror. I think that was like a side boss. It was a side boss. I just wanted you guys to bear witness to this scene and let past Jeebus express his emotions. They die? No? Oh my god, they died! No! Needless to say, this scene caught me by surprise, but we're only here for achievements, so let's move on. Like all Sonic games, to progress the story, Sonic needs to collect the 7 Chaos Emeralds so that he can become Super Sonic and defeat the boss titans lurking in each area. We also need to collect these things called memory tokens. These are used to unlock the side story, which are tied to a few achievements, as well as progressing the game along. Remember earlier when I mentioned fishing? Well, that's how we get our next achievement. In each world there are sub-levels within the cyberspace that we have to complete to, you guessed it, progress the story. These levels are your classic Sonic run, collect red rings, and beat the level as fast as you can. Some of these also take you to fishing spots run by Big the Cat.
Big, what are you doing here? How did you get here? What even is here?
I don't know. I was looking for fishing spots and wound up here.
Man, what is the voice acting? The mechanics are fairly simple, although Big takes a good 30 minutes to explain them to you, so allow me. You press the button shown on the screen when the white circle is within the red circle and bam, you got yourself some sushi.
Nice.
You can actually trade the fish you catch with Big and he'll give you level upgrades, which makes some of the later achievements 1,000 times easier. After completing Big's fishing tutorial, we're granted our next achievement, Big Encounter.
I get it, it's funny.
We also earn 2 achievements, one for completing one of the cyberspace levels within an S-rank time, and also for completing all missions in one cyberspace area. Following this, I took Sonic back to his youth by making him run in a wheel, and also unlocked another achievement, Swath of Destruction. This one was for destroying 100 breakable objects. Quick story update. This is Sage. Sage is Dr. Robotnik's daughter, created by him. Sage's purpose is to free Eggman from cyberspace, the purgatory-type location he was transported to at the start of the game. Simp. The next achievement we unlock is Speed Demon. This can be done by simply collecting the maximum number of rings Sonic can hold at any given time, granting him a speed boost. I still have no idea where he keeps these rings. Next up, the first main boss of the game, Giganto. To even have a chance of fighting this boss, Sonic must first climb onto his head by running through the blue boost rings and collect the final Chaos Emerald to activate Roid Sonic. And then, the dirtiest, most filthy gent guitar comes in with fucking Kellen Quinn of Sleeping with Sirens. This was my reaction. Yeah, it's insanely cool. And there are so many more tracks in this game that have the same effect. The OST is absolutely flawless. Anyway, Giganto is fairly simple. Dodge his swipes, mash combos, dodge, mash. Parrying also helps, but I didn't figure this out until the last minute. One thing to note is that during each boss fight, Sonic doesn't have health, but rather a constantly depleting ring count. Once it hits 0, Sonic gets hit by an 18-wheeler. Nah, he just loses the fight and you have to start again. Phase 2 of the fight sees Giganto sprout lasers on his back and start firing into the sky. This phase isn't too much different and doesn't pose too much of a threat. Once again, we dodge mash. It's also here we earn our next achievement, Combo Convert. This is for performing a Phantom Rush for the first time outside of battle. A Phantom Rush is what happens when Sonic fills his combo counter. Once full, he will unleash a flurry of bitch slaps to his opponent and cause
a lot of damage.
We manage to take down Giganto, clear the area, and earn our next achievement, the beginning. Sonic shoots off and is promptly gunned down, losing the Chaos Emeralds and bringing us to World 2, Shifting Sandland. The start of our time on Chronos Island follows a similar format to the previous. I started by making my way around the map, collecting any memory tokens, this time for Knuckles, defeating any side bosses I encounter, opening cyberspace gates and completing the classic Sonic levels, and doing any challenges. By completing challenges, we can unlock more of the map, making it a lot easier to see what kind of stuff I'm missing at a later date. Our next achievement we get through a random event called Starfall. A Starfall is an event that can occur at any time after nightfall. The event essentially acts as a world reset, respawning enemies, rings, and items. Star pieces can also be collected from this event, and when picked up, initiate a slot machine that grants us with purple coins to use in Big's fishing minigame. Following on from this, we actually pick up a second achievement, Ticket to Tranquility. This is earned by collecting 100 purple coins, which, in this minigame, is very easy. After running around some more and doing some map spring cleaning, the story takes us to this claw minigame, for some reason. Thankfully, all my years spent losing money in arcades paid off here. It's almost like I knew that one day I would need to operate a claw in a Sonic game. By completing this, we are granted access to this secret cave obstacle course, leading to the second boss battle of the game, Wyvern. After scaling the large tower shown in the cutscene, we come face to face with the Danger Noodle himself. After successfully launching our tiny blue body at Wyvern and hanging on for dear life, we begin the intense fight. Similar to the squid side boss we fought earlier, Sonic has to run along a red path kindly left by the boss, all while dodging projectiles and keeping up the best we can. You may have already guessed it, but the final Chaos Emerald we need is gently placed atop Wyvern's head. And thanks to Team Sonic, we get another absolute fucking banger. God, man. Now that we're once again in Supersonic form, we're back to some more dodging and mashing. And, of course, some more parrying this time around. Wyvern's second form sees him pick up a vape pen, put on the Smiths, and start blowing the fattest O-rings you've ever seen. Again, fairly easy to avoid these. As the fight progresses, Wyvern will fire missiles at Sonic. These can be parried and deflected back at the boss with ease. Seriously, this game has the easiest parry system ever. No Dark Souls frame perfect parries here. Just a simple hold of the button will work just fine. Don't tell that to past Jubis, of course. After some more button mashing and making sure Wyvern is getting his vitamins, the Danger Noodle is slain. Once our pest control problem is taken care of, we get some brief dialogue from one of the Ancients, and Sonic and Knuckles share a very sweet moment together. Before Sonic once again jets off to another island and is inevitably blown out of the sky. Here we earn the achievement Ancient Defiance. As I said previously, Sonic gets absolutely obliterated and blown out of the sky yet again, bringing us to island number 3, Chaos Island. We begin this island like all of the others, by exploring the area and collecting memory tokens, unlocking and completing cyberspace levels, defeating any bosses we encounter, completing various side tasks to unlock the map, and of course, working towards collecting the Chaos Emeralds. This island actually happens to be my least favourite, purely because of the size of it, and the fact that there are so many smaller islands completely separate from the main land. To get to these islands, you generally have to take a fairly long route by climbing, sliding, defeating enemies, and it just doesn't feel as smooth as the others. There is a new bird enemy that's introduced and allows you to glide across gaps after parrying it, but it's super slow and Sonic gradually gets closer and closer to plummeting to his death. I did still have fun with the island though.
And now, it's time
For an exciting story update. Eggman is still trapped in cyberspace, but he's now being hunted by the internet authorities for downloading too many versions of Afroman's Because I Got High and Linkin Park-num.exe from LimeWire. Thankfully, he still has his trusty firewall, Sage, ready to block all malware from destroying Eggman. Seriously, this is like the easiest way I can describe the story. Next we meet with Tails. He seems to be having some sort of identity crisis.
Sonic, am I a burden to you?
Look at this dude.
We don't care about that though. Is there an achievement for being a good friend? Oh, there isn't? Okay, well then stop talking to me. The premise here is that you have to reach the bottom of the sky obstacle course without dying and beat the clock. You are allowed 3 hits before you must reset, but honestly, being hit slows you down a fair bit, and you don't really have that much time. There are a bunch of springs on your way down that will propel you back up. Some, however, are facing down and can be used to your advantage. The lock-on system is a little iffy at times though, and will just completely ruin your run. I honestly attempted this minigame about 10 plus times. I have no idea why I found it so difficult, but man, did I look like an angry 1940s cartoon character with steam coming out of my ears. I was told that you could hear the occasional
one of these days.
Sonic. I then failed it some more times and rage quit the minigame. Just watching this footage now has me creasing my face up in anger. And a little bit of shame that it took me so long. But mostly anger. After finally finishing the minigame, we can lower a drawbridge keeping us from one of the Chaos Emeralds, and collect Sonic's colored crack rock.
What you need?
One please.
One what?
One rock of
One crack.
A crack rock.
I mean emerald. This brings us one step closer to facing off against the boss. The original Sonic from the movie. Look at the way he stares. Look into his eyes, it's void. Oh god, he's in my brain. Oh, make it stop! After once again speaking to Tails, we're able to use Sonic's cyber corruption as a means to open the hidden door on the map. Entering the door takes us to a pinball game? Honestly though, this minigame is incredibly fun and super satisfying once you build up a big score multiplier. I won't explain how this works because, well, it's pinball. All I'll say is that this is the best minigame in Sonic Frontiers. Completing this causes the Chaos Island volcano to erupt and clear the fog from the giant crater in the center of the map, revealing boss number 3, Night. Night is the hardest boss we've faced so far. They're sporadic in their movements and their attacks are hard to telegraph. At least for me. The fight begins just like the fight with Giganto. Sonic must first climb the boss and collect the final Chaos Emerald on its head. They like to wear them like tiny little hats. What a distinguished gentleman. After collecting the emerald, we are yet again greeted with a slammer of a boss track. This OST, it's so good. It's so good. For the most part, the combat is the same. However, this time the boss has a shield and seems to think he's Captain America. After dealing some damage to Night, he will launch his shield at Sonic, which, after completing a quick time event, we can control. This part, however, is super frustrating. You're supposed to pilot the shield into Night, but these missiles push you back every single time, and it's impossible to dodge them. I found the most effective way was to just wiggle until you finish a phase. The same method works for your After whittling Night down, he reveals his second form. Oh my god. It's the LEGO Minecraft Jungle Abomination Dungeons playset action toy with creeper and skeleton figures. Night's actual second form sees him pull out a big ass sword and start trying to give Sonic a proper London greeting. Here we have to position ourselves in front of Night's shield that's currently flying around the arena. Once in front, we have to parry the shield at the right angle to collide with Night, giving us a window to wail on him. After working on Night for a while, we managed to knock him down to just a slither of health and initiate the final quick time event. Sonic disarms and uses Night's own sword against him. It's brutal. Glad to see Sonic still remembers his training from Sonic and the Black Knight. Remember that one? No? That makes sense. Defeating Knight and finishing Chaos Island grants us the Futile Resistance achievement. Moving swiftly onto Island 4. There isn't too much to say about this one. There's no collectibles or side stories here. We simply have to scale some very large towers and turn off the fans at the top. The journey up to each of these fans is fun and challenging. They each have their own obstacle course way of ascension that I really enjoyed. After every tower we shut down, we're shown some lore for the ancients, but ultimately not too much happens here, so we're just going to move straight onto the final island. After turning off the fans and completing the 4th island, Sonic cyber corruption reaches an all-time high. Ladies and gents, this is what happens if you eat at least one marijuana. Do you want to end up like Sonic? Taking on a bit of the sweet Mary Jane? I didn't think so. Eggman is also freed from the cyberspace and uses this time to laugh at Sonic's misfortune. What a chad. Sage pulls a Doctor Strange and views every possible outcome in which the gang survive, revealing that percentage to be 0. Sage then realizes that she never viewed a scenario in which Eggman and Sonic teamed up. Naturally, the big guy isn't happy about this, but he folds fairly quickly. We all know that when no one is around, Eggman likes to bake soft caramel cookies and place freshly made cherry pies on his window, so this should really come as no surprise. Once again the grind begins, although I'm not going to focus too much on that this time around since we've already done this song and dance for the 3 previous islands. After roaming the new land for a little while, I net myself the achievement Combo Crackerjack. This is for performing Phantom Rush 50 times, and also Easy Prey for defeating all of the enemy types, although not including side bosses as this is saved for a later achievement. After grinding out some skill points for a while, I was able to finish unlocking all of Sonic's skills and earn the Unrivaled Aptitude achievement. We're on a roll now, baby! After progressing through the island, we encounter another sealed door. This door can be unlocked by playing Space Invaders on a small computer just outside. I honestly have no idea, but I kinda dig it. This one is pretty self-explanatory if you've lived a single day on planet Earth. If you haven't, and you're an alien that's come to probe us, first of all, dinner date first, pal, okay? Secondly, we need to fire at the enemy at the top of the screen, all while dodging the white and black bullets from other enemies. These bullets can be absorbed by firing at them with the corresponding colour, to unleash a powerful homing attack that hits all enemies on the screen at once. Thank you for coming to my Space Invaders TED Talk. Now about that probing. After finishing our minigame, we can grab another Chaos Emerald and add it to our collection. Sonic's cyber corruption, however, is preventing us from collecting the last emerald. Thankfully, our boy Eggman rocks up, and with the Chad move of the century, just hands it over. We can finally achieve our ultimate form, the Liver King.
What up, primals?
The next boss, Supreme, just straight up has a huge fucking rifle. Not too much else to say about this guy. The sheer size of this rifle must have been compensating for just how weak of a boss this guy is. I actually ended up beating him in like 2 minutes. He was maybe having an off day. After bullying Supreme, Sage adds insult to injury by possessing him and flying him into space. I kind of feel bad for the guy. I harness the power of a simulated successful hunt and fly into space to finish the job. But before this, we get the achievement Hope Across Ages for defeating Supreme. Once in space, we come face to face with the final boss of the game, the End. The End is a planet, kind of like Ego from Guardians of the Galaxy 2, but unfortunately not played by Kurt Russell. Aww. Anyway, this boss is pretty much just a quick time event, so we make it through this with ease. Supreme Sage launches Sonic forehead first at the End. During this segment, we have to build up enough speed to penetrate
Yeah, boy.
the End. This nets us the final main story achievement, A Land of Peace. The End begins to get real mad and detonate, which is when Sage makes her final stand by flying into the planet and absorbing the blast. I gotta say, this game really does Eggman dirty. Poor guy. And that's it! We're finished! Or are we? I beeline straight for Big's fishing hamlet. I caught isopods, goldfish, sharks, an alligator, RIP Sonic. All in all, this is a really fun achievement. The fishing mechanic is fun, and it doesn't take too long to catch all the fish. You rack up an insane amount of tokens to spend as well. It's pretty relaxing all in all. We catch our final creature, a whole snapping turtle, and get the Anglers Club achievement. Next up, I decided to go for max level in all skills. I figured this would be easy since I just fished for half an hour and collected hundreds of tokens. Little did I know the absolute pain this was about to cause me. I made my way over to Homeboy, filled with excitement and whimsical nature. I was about to max level all my skills and get 4 achievements. Hang on a second, where is the select multiple level option? It must be around here somewhere. They surely don't expect me to sit here and press the X button over 150 times, right? Please say psych. Nope, no psychs, jokes, joshes or gags around here. I actually had to sit here for about an hour talking to this doofus and pressing X over 100 times, making sure I didn't hit X too quickly and cancel the conversation. By maxing my speed, I got the Hypersonic Hedgehog achievement. I did the same for the Ring Capacity 2 and got the Hefty Hedgehog achievement. As you can see, I was a broken man at this point. Oh, but it doesn't stop there, because guess what? My game crashed as soon as I got these achievements, and this game doesn't like to autosave very often. I loaded the game back and I'd lost about an hour and a half's work. Needless to say, I was pretty broken. See, I was under the impression that to 100% the game, you needed to have all stats maxed at once. However, thankfully, you only had to max each stat once, meaning that despite my game crashing, I still had unlocked the achievements and didn't have to do them again. Thank God. I picked up Herculean Hedgehog by maxing my power level, and Hardened Hedgehog by maxing my defense. The next few achievements I'm going to move through fairly quickly. To obtain these, I had to go through each island and perform a number of tasks. For the first batch, I had to complete all side story events. This is done by speaking to every NPC on the map and trading memory tokens. Next, I had to open all cyberspace gates using the gears I'd been collecting from bosses. It's kind of odd that you don't actually have to complete the cyberspace levels, since that was one of the most enjoyable aspects, but, I mean, whatever, less for me to do. Next, I had to finish all challenges and fully unlock the entirety of the map. This does allow us to fast travel, but honestly, a little too late for that now. After this, we had just one achievement left, to defeat all Guardian types. Hi, it's Editing Jeebus here. You're probably wondering, hey, he said that was the last achievement, and he only has 38 out of 40. What a... I understand. Let me explain. I forgot the Cocoa Leader achievement, which is gained by collecting 200 Cocos. I think I earned this back in, like, Chaos Island. It's been a while. Go easy on me, it's my first achievement video. This one was a bit of a pain. Since the game doesn't tell you which Guardians you've defeated and which are missing, it's a bit of a guessing game. However, I kinda just went around looking for any Guardians I didn't quite recognize until I finally found the right one. Shinobi on Chaos Island. After defeating Shinobi at a game of Card Jitsu, I was awarded my final achievement, 100%ing Sonic Frontiers. Thanks so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to subscribe and let me know which game you want to see next. I've never done this type of content before, but I really enjoyed it, so let's do some more.